Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Ontie, providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Well, hello there, Auntie Joan.
Hey, Auntie. How are you?
Oh, just fine. Thanks. And you?
I'm doing pretty gosh darn good.
Good. Glad to hear it.
Me too.
So what do we have for ripe topics today?
For ripe
topics. I went to a winterfest at the Netherlands local ski resort, pun intended, although it is called a resort. It's not, but that's what they call it. There is no resort-like things there. But there is lots of skiing.
I have never been there.
This was my first time in 15 years. Exactly. Yes.
But you've lived so far away from it, so that's
much further now. 10 minutes away, and I'm a whopping 20 minutes away. My friend, who I used to live next door to in my house in Netherlands, suggested that we go to the Eldora WinterFest, which was sponsored by Subaru. And it was so funny because she sent me like a little link to it, and I looked it up, and it said featuring Harman Kardon and musical acts. And I was like, who the hell is Harman Kardon? And I'm like, oh God, is this like a DJ thing? Am I going to hate this with an almighty passion? But I didn't want to say no because I say no to a lot of things. And I was just like, you know what? I haven't been to Eldora in 15 years. I had nothing else going on. Let's go check out this Winterfest. So it turns out Harman Kardon are speakers. Electronic speakers. I had no idea. Because when we got there, the band was actually sounding really good. And I was like, I'm so confused. So I said to my friend, I was very confused by featuring Harman Kardon. And she's like, those are speakers. And I'm like, oh, now it makes more sense. I'm like, I was so fearful as a DJ.
And see, I would have thought, oh, what are they going to talk about? Speakers, you know?
Yes, but they didn't say speakers in the ad. She said they were speakers. So like I said, I just thought it was, I'm like, is this a person? Like, I don't know who that is. So there you have it.
We're so happy with it, aren't we?
I'll tell you what. But it was great because here I was worried that was going to be a lot of that, techno crap that I can't stand. But it was actually people playing music and singing, and they did a nice job. And it was a sort of lovely day because the clouds were kind of coming over. So when the sun was out, it was spectacular because it was an all outdoor thing. And we found ourselves a little place on their little deck and hung out. And like I said, when the sun was out, it was great. When it was not out, it was pretty chilly.
Ooh.
But that's what you get. I mean, I forget what elevation Eldora is at. Probably, I gotta believe it's close to 10,000 feet.
Probably
9,500, 12, and 10,000. I don't know. But anyway, but like I said, the music was really good, and we found a little table off to the side. We got to, watching the skiers come down and sit there and chit chat while music was playing. And we decided to drink Bloody Marys. Okay. So Auntie does not drink hard alcohol very often. I know I like my gin, but that is an occasion thing. That's not my go-to. Wine is my standard. If not wine, beer. And then gin every once in a blue moon. The rest of it, never. But it sounded so good. I always love the Bloody Mary mix. And this one was really good. It was nice and spicy. It was Oh my God, you should have seen this accoutrement craziness that they gave to her. My friend on a skewer. Thankfully, I saw them. Thankfully, I was with her when we were getting our drinks because it had pepperoncinos, I think a couple of olives, pepperoni, bacon. It was like this crazy skewer of stuff. And she
like breakfast.
Yes. And the bartender put it on one of the drinks. And I'm like, just one of them. Nothing on the other one. Do not put that on mine. But we got
smokes.
And because we were being lazy, this was my thought. How often do you want to get up to get another drink? So we got doubles.
Oh my
God. We were lazy. And the bartender's like, that's a really good way to rationalize getting doubles. And I'm like, well, I mean, that's a lot of effort to get up. We had a couple of those, and then stupidly also had a beer. We both felt totally fine. My friend had dinner plans that night with her husband and another couple, And I just was going home, cares. And I got home and ate something because we didn't have any food there, had something to eat, and literally fell asleep at like 6:15 at night. I was done. And I remember waking up on the couch at like 9:30 going, oh my God, she went out again tonight? Like, there's no way. And then I saw her last night because we finally partook in the local liberal drinking. It's a democratic thing that they do up here in the mountains. And I've been meaning to go and just check it out and never did. And there happened to be an event. I'm like, let's go check this out. So we got together again. And I told her, I'm like, did you really go out that night? She's like, sure did. And she drank some more. She's like, and that was a mistake.
Oh my gosh.
I'm like, oh my God, I was asleep by 6:15. She's like, you were not. I'm like, oh, I most definitely was. I'm like, she's like, didn't you feel fine I'm like, I felt totally fine when we were at the Eldora WinterFest thing. I'm like, I don't know. It hit so much later. Cause I think we left there at 3:30. And like I said, I got home and I was, had something to eat. Didn't think anything of it. Sat down on the couch, put on something on the TV, and I was out. That was it. And I was like, wow. So yeah, she said it was a big mistake for her to drink that night. And I mean, because she showered in between, same thing. Like she felt fine. She felt fine. She felt fine. And she's like, she didn't even drink that much out that night, but it hit her because everything just culminated. She was very hungover on Sunday. I wasn't, because I'm like, if I went out that night, I probably would have been too.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I wasn't because I fell asleep so freaking early.
It must have been after Killian was fed, though.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
you said 6:15. So
Oh yeah. Like I said, everything was normal up until that point. And then I
Yeah.
sat on the couch and that was it.
Well, that's normal for me, though. Sit in my recliner, put a blankie on, and hasta la vista, baby.
And that liberal drinking thing, it's an event, but there's nothing organized. Like there's no like talks or anything like that. It's just mingling.
Oh,
It's just mingling. And we found 2 bar stools up at the bar, comfortable bar stools, by the way. They actually had like real seats to them. It was very nice. Anyway, at the local brewery called Howlin' Wind. And, but we kept to ourselves. Let's put it that way. We did not mingle. We did not partake in anything that was going on around us. We just sat there and talked amongst ourselves.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah. So I don't know if we really partook in it, and there was no like proceeds going to anything. So kind of us going was just 2 friends hanging out.
So they weren't trying to organize event, like getting to, no.
No, not that we heard. Like I said, we didn't mingle. Oh my God. But there was this big, beautiful, spectacular Rottweiler.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God, he was beautiful. His name was Kodar, and he was immense. He was only 2, and I couldn't get enough. I was all in. I love Rottweilers. I think they're beautiful.
They are.
And this one was he was very sweet. He did try and jump up a couple of times, not ever made contact with me, but his owner was very, no, correcting. He was leaning. I mean, you know how Killian leans, leans into you. Now this is like, I forget what he said. I forgot how much he told me he weighed. I don't know. He was beefy.
20, 130. Yeah, I bet.
Easily, and that it's leaning. I'm like, whoa, this is fun.
I forgot
cute.
dogs do that. Yeah, I think
So
Stanley used to do that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Spectacular.
interesting. But you talk about when you went out and you felt fine.
Totally fine.
And then, I will never, ever forget when I was working at a large technical company outside of Boulder back in the 80s. I was working in their computer room and at first shift, and the whole crew of us went out for a FAC club, Friday afternoon club. So I was on Weight Watchers, I think at the time. So I had like hardly anything to eat that day, which is not what Weight Watchers told you to do, but it was what I did because I was going to be drinking.
Right.
So we go to what was the Broker, I think at the time. And
it's still there.
Is it still there?
It is still there in Boulder,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's still
Oh,
there.
Okay. So I had a thing of wine, a glass of wine.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, I'll have another one. I feel fine. I had another one. And I was married to my first husband at the time. And that was up in Loveland, where we lived. So anyway, so
Oh,
I
wow.
look at my clock and I'm thinking, oh geez, I got a time I get home.
Mm-hmm.
So I stood up and it's like I hit a wall. It's like
Mm-hmm.
all of a sudden I was drunk.
Two
So I
glasses of wine, huh?
yeah, but I hadn't eaten all day. So I get to my car and I'm driving and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I cannot drive all the way to Loveland like this. So I went to my place of employment,
Mm-hmm.
parked the car in the parking lot, threw up. Yes,
No.
yes. Walked in and went into the computer room because there was the second shift.
Uh-huh.
And I walked in there and I called my husband at the time and I said, would you please come and get me? Because I just don't think I can make it all the way home. And he
Wow.
did. He drove down and picked me up. And then when I saw the second shift people the next like Monday, they were
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh yeah, no, you looked fine. You walked in like, you own the place.
Yeah. Yeah. It was so
So,
bizarre. And I did say that to my friend that I think it's because we sat I mean, other than to go
yep,
get the other
yep.
drinks, we were sitting and just chit-chatting and I think that was a mistake.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
got to move around a little bit because I had a couple of beers last night and I was totally fine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, granted, no hard alcohol and all that, and we sat most of the time, but 2.5 really, 2.5 beers. I ended up getting a small one at one point, but yeah, and that was
Yeah.
it, and totally fine. I felt totally fine when I got home. There was I didn't pass out when I got home. Right, I ended up watching a couple of programs on TV when I got home, and I didn't get home until almost 9 o'clock, and I still watched some TV.
Wow.
9 o'clock's my bedtime normally.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, I was wide awake. It actually had the opposite effect. I was wide awake, and I'm just like, I don't
Now
know.
what do I do?
Right. So
Yeah.
anyway, yeah, it was a weird phenomenon, but
I'll tell you, after that experience, I don't think I ever drank much and drove again.
mhm.
Because the one thing that kept going through my mind is if I get in an accident, it's one thing if I go off the road, but if I were to hit somebody,
Oh, for sure.
and especially if they had a kid in the car, I mean, I would never be able to live with that.
Especially
Yes.
for a kid. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah. They have so much more life left in that ahead of them, hopefully. So, but yeah, I think that was the turning point. And
Mm.
I really don't like to drink and drive at all anymore. Even if I'm going to eat and
Right.
there's time for it to
Right.
settle down. Yeah.
Right.
But,
Yeah, it was bizarro.
yeah.
Bizarro.
Well, live and learn.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, honestly, I used to get Bloody Mary mix on the airlines, just the mix.
Just
It's so good. It's so spicy.
is that like the clamato or
No.
clamato? No.
No, that's got clam juice in it.
Oh.
No, it's more like V8.
Oh, my favorite.
Right. But a little bit thicker, a little bit
Spicier.
spicier. Because they would have, I think they had they have tomato juice on the flights. Or they used to. I don't know. I don't get drinks on the flights anymore. But other than like water or soda or whatever. They used to have tomato juice or they would make, we can make you a Bloody Mary. And I'm like, I just want the mix, not the alcohol.
A
And-
Virgin Mary.
Yes. And it was delicious. Delicious. I haven't had that in a long time. But anyway, so it sounded really good. And like I said, the mix they used was very good. But yeah, that
Well, they
vodka
do
kind
have
of
a-
snuck up on us.
It'll do that. They do have a spicy V8 now, too.
It's just
Oh.
not as thick as Bloody Mary
Oh,
mix. It's a little
oh.
bit thicker. So it's almost like tomato juice. I don't know how to describe it. It's really good though. So anywho, but that's so what's been a ripe topic for you, Auntie Joan?
Tuesday, my cousin came down with her
Mhm.
daughter.
Nice.
And we had a girls' day, girls' afternoon. Actually, she's not my first cousin. Her dad was my first cousin.
Right.
So I guess she's my first cousin once removed. I think that's the correct term.
I don't know how that works. I never got that right.
Yeah. And so her daughter, I guess, would be my grand cousin. I don't know.
Maybe.
So that was, they wanted to go to this place called Moxie. It's a bakery and they sell flours, grains, so you can make your own bread.
Oh, not plant flowers. You're talking
Baking flours.
baking flour.
Yeah, but they, it's different. I think they have rye and
Mm-hmm.
whole wheat. And anyway, so they have 3 locations, one in Lyons, one in North Boulder, and one in Lafayette or Louisville. So we went to the one in Louisville, and that's downtown Louisville. And
I love
it's a
downtown
quaint-
Louisville.
Yes, it's a quaint little town, isn't it?
I love that place. Did you get ice cream after? The whole point of going there is to go to
Where's the ice cream?
Oh, Auntie Joan. I forget the name of it, but there's an ice cream place there.
It's not the cow thing,
The
is it?
cow thing.
Is it?
The cow thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. We drove by there, but I think we were full, and
Oh.
plus that, my cousin wanted to go to Culver's because she had heard that they have an Andes mint avalanche
Oh, she
in
does like
honor
her
of.
mint, her chocolate mint.
Yes, she does. She mentioned
Does.
that was her favorite.
That's her
Yeah.
favorite. Yep.
So that was going to be where we were going to get the ice cream,
Mm-hmm.
and that was up in Longmont, so we had trips to do, places to stop on the way. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Oh my
As we
God. Why didn't you go to Lyons then, to Moxie, and do the Longmont one on the way back? Like you went to Louisville, then to Longmont?
Lions just seem so far away.
Yeah, but that would be the furthest. Then you would just come back, Longmont. I don't
But
know.
yeah, I didn't look at the menu and stuff at the Lions one. I didn't. I looked at the because we were going to have lunch there too.
Mm-hmm.
It was
That's a lot of
okay.
driving.
It was well, I wasn't driving.
I
She
know.
was. My cousin was. Yeah. It still scared the hell out of me, but anyway. Uh, I wasn't real pleased.
You didn't like Moxie?
No, that
I've
I
never
didn't
been.
think.
I don't.
Well,
No.
I got some ciabatta bread,
Hmm.
and I don't know. It's more whole wheat, and I like my white bread. Sorry, but that's just the way I am.
What are you apologizing for?
And I think there was even some rye in that ciabatta, which is unusual. But anyway,
Eh,
the sandwich I had was okay, but I don't know. I wish we would have gone to an Indian restaurant or Mexican restaurant instead. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that big grin on your face. Just the
ugh,
thought of going to an Indian restaurant with the curry
gross.
and stuff. Huh?
Gross.
Anyway, my cousin's daughter has been seeing a fella, and he has a brother who has a glass blowing studio around Lafayette. So
Oh.
doing our typical girly thing, I said, "Ooh, let's find out where it is and drive by it." Now, she's never met him. Well, come on, didn't you used to do that when you were?
Yeah, teenager. You're all
Yeah,
beyond
exactly.
that.
No, no, no. It's kind of like,
Yes.
reliving our youth.
Uh-huh.
So anyway, so we found that and drove by it, and then we didn't stop in or anything. We just drove by, and then we went up to Longmont and went to Culver's and had that avalanche mint
Mm-hmm.
Andes. It was mighty tasty. Oh, during Lent, Culver's has walleye. So she wanted to get some walleye to take home. So I said, well, get an extra piece and we can munch on that while we're here, waiting for our blizzards to come.
Mm-hmm.
So she didn't eat much of it. She got a 3-piece, and I just kind of took over. It was tasty. It was good.
Nice.
It was good. However, usually when I do get, Larry used to always want to get the walleye. He liked the walleye.
Mm-hmm.
But when I get it, I like to wrap it, cocoon it in napkins to get the grease out, to get the oil out. So it's not quite so oily,
You're
greasy.
missing most of the
Well,
taste when you do that now.
I'll tell you, it was good.
And for folks
It
who
was
don't
good.
know, walleye is a fish. Not everybody knows.
Yeah,
You're
from
from
up north.
Wisconsin. Exactly. You're
Yeah.
from Wisconsin, so that's just normal talk for you folk. But I remember going to Wisconsin for the first time and people talking about walleye. I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had no clue what's.
Oh,
I had to
see.
try to get the context and not ask the question, and trying to figure it out. And yes, I'd never heard of walleye before.
Oh my gosh.
Mm-mm, mm-mm, that is
And
not a
having
common fish in the Northeast.
Huh. And having grown up in the Midwest, I mean, it was just, yeah, you knew.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
It's mighty tasty. That's a nice white fish.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think I might have to go there maybe again this weekend and get some for my own self and bring it home.
There you go. Mm-hmm.
So that was, and then
Mm-hmm.
on the way back,
Mm-hmm.
my cousin had been wanting to go to Celestial Seasonings gift shop. They opened up a new gift shop, I guess, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. And then they closed it for a couple of years because of COVID. And I guess they reopened it a couple of years ago now. So anyway, I
That
had
gift
been
shop's
there.
been there a lot longer than that.
Yeah, but they've improved it. They've enlarged it. Oh, they've got
We
some.
went.
Did we?
Yes.
Did we? You and me together?
Yep.
Oh,
We did.
I didn't realize you were with me.
Yep.
You were so quiet, I guess.
Yeah. Remember, I was asking for a specific tea, and then they said they didn't have it
Oh, that's
anymore.
right.
And then
Yeah.
I found out online that yes, they do, and I felt bad that the old ladies were there that were working there were
Yeah.
likely going to get in
That's
trouble.
right. Oh, I think they've got some beautiful stuff there. The cups and the pots and things like that. I mean, if you're looking for a unique coffee mug or tea cup or whatever, it's a good place to go. It's over between Boulder and Niwot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she got that done and then dropped me off and came home and took a nap for a couple hours.
Nice.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my Tuesday. And then Wednesday,
Mm-hmm.
OMG, I'm finally getting my basement back to usability.
Mm-hmm.
I had the guys came, they put in drywall. I'm going to get some new flooring ordered. We're talking about the bathroom and I can't wait. I'm really looking forward to having that basement back and doing my sewing again.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it turns out a friend of mine who had passed away between Christmas and New Year's, she had just bought a new sewing machine before she moved out to Nevada. And it had been sitting in her sewing room for the last, I don't know, 6-7 years, unused. And I think I'm going to be able to get that. So I'll have a newer sewing machine. So if you want to come and sew with me, we can do that.
Or you sell the one you already have.
No, I like that one too. Got to have a backup. I'll tell you, there's some women I know, honest to God, they'll have 3-4 sewing machines.
You don't need 3 or 4 sewing machines.
I know I don't. I've gotten along fine with just one. It blows my mind when these women say, oh, yeah, I've got 5. I've got 5 sewing machines. I mean, some of them do embroidery. I don't know. Some of them get these old singers because they do a wonderful straight stitch. That's all they do is a straight stitch, but that's why they want it because they get a nice straight stitch with it. So those old singers go for $300-400.
See, that's what you can get for yours.
I don't know. So anyway, that's my excitement. So pretty soon I'll be sewing again.
Nice. Did they say about how long they're going to be doing work?
I'll tell you, at the rate they're going, I'd say a couple weeks.
Okay.
One of the workers has to go out of town for a week. I won't see them again till next Thursday.
Gotcha.
And that's fine. I can rest up.
Very nice. Is this Damon doing this work or is it somebody else?
No, this is part of the company that did the remediation and all that stuff, did the cleanup. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to start talking a little new little segments for season 2. It is called Animals on the Vine. And this is all things animals, basically, with our kitschy little gardening terminology surrounding it. But I really like this gentleman called Johnny Duvaney. And I've only seen him on the Facebook, not to say he's not on the Instagram, couldn't say, but he's definitely on the Facebook. He acts out different dog breeds and I love him. I absolutely adore this man. And he just got other videos that don't have anything to do with animals, but I don't care about those so much. What I am interested in of his is all about dog breeds. And one video in particular is my all-time favorite. He always plays multiple characters in his videos, either multiple dog breeds or whatever. In this one, he's a dog, but as a Jehovah's Witness. So he knocks on the door that says Wolf's House, and he answers the door as a wolf. And this dog, Jehovah's Witness, is trying to recruit the wolf into the dog world, into the domestic dog world. And it is hysterical. He's talking to him about all these things and, I can't, I'm not going to do it justice. I will have the link. You got to go watch it. But the video ends where it says, now would you like to hear about our Lord and Savior, Sarah McLachlan? Oh, it's just perfect. I wish it didn't end there. I cracked up the first time I saw that one. It was so funny. Yeah, he's telling the wolf all about, the good things that happen when you're a dog. And what gets the wolf interested ultimately was daily belly rubs. And he's like, every day? And he's like, every day. He's like, I could be interested in that. But before that, the wolf was like poo-pooing everything. Like, no,
Well,
I don't.
yeah.
No. And then he's like, well, before you go, I just, daily belly rubs. And the wolf's like, daily belly rubs? And he's like, daily. And he's like, I could be interested in that. And that's when he says, that's great. Now would you like to hear about our Lord and Savior, Sarah McLachlan? And I was like, oh, perfect. That was a perfect ending to that video.
Oh, it was. It was.
Awesome.
It was kind of sad, though, when we talked about the shelters.
Yeah. It was sad. But then he said, because the wolf said, or the dog says, well, don't worry, you're going to get adopted. And he's like, well, what happens if you don't? He's like, well, don't worry, you won't go to a no-kill shelter. And he's like, what? And he's like, never mind, moving on. He moves on to the next thing. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, come on.
But he ended on a high note, that's for sure.
He sure did. It was very silly, very fun. He's got a lot of them. And he does some informative videos, too, about specific dog breeds. So he's not talking as the dog. He's telling you about the dog breed. And those are very interesting, too. Mm-hmm. So he's got lots of videos out there. Lots and lots and lots and lots. So
I'm going to go check out some of them.
And I do love when he plays the German Shepherd, because they're always, he's like the police, He's usually dressed as a cop. And then it says German Shepherd. It's very funny. Just all of it is very funny. Oh, and there was one where a burglar gets into the house and he does how different breeds would react to the burglar. And like the golden retriever, the burglar walks in and it's a golden retriever. He's like, hi, what's your name? And the burglar's like, well, I'm just here to steal your parents' jewelry. He's like, okay, let me show you where it is.
That's our kids.
It's just so silly.
They are. And he's got the perfect face and expressions for that, too.
Yes. And he's very athletic. Like, he'll run around. Like, every time he portrays a husky, he's just running full stop screaming. It's very funny.
Have you ever seen those husky videos? The people that own like 3 huskies or something, and all the howling they do. It's crazy.
Yeah. Huskies definitely shrill a little bit more than like my beast. My beast has more of a wolf howl, deeper, but they're shrieky, those huskies. Oh my. But so darn cute.
Yeah, they are.
So darn cute.
They are.
I tell you what.
There's no question there's dogs living there.
That's for sure. And what animals on the vine do you have for today, Auntie Joan?
Well, this came up in my feed yesterday. I think it was in Facebook.
Oh, okay.
The cutierstore.com. I would say it's a curated kitty cat crap store. Mm-hmm. They got all kinds of things. And one of the cutest is like a shoulder bag that you can carry your cat in. And their little paws, their legs stick out, and they get this look on their face like, what the fuck is going on? They have cat little funny fake human hand. And you can they slip on over their paws, and you can get them like giving the peace sign, giving the finger, saying okay.
Nice. You should get some of them and take pictures with Isis and Oscar.
They're only $9.99, and you get 6 of them.
Oh,
yeah, I think I will.
See, that'll be fun.
Adjustable claw clippers. Oh, and then the little masks that you can put on them, so they don't bite you.
I agree with. Yes. But I'm also, their claws are what I'm more concerned about coming at me when I'm doing stuff that needs to be done versus the biting. Yeah, it's going to hurt. But that doesn't hurt. That, like, I can take them biting at me. I don't want them to scratch me.
Oscar would bite before he'd scratch me, I think, if I was doing his claws.
Yeah.
And then when I try to comb out his mats, he'll right away try to bite me.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
Cute.
so
And they even have that sling thing in purple for you. So you can carry the cats around your purple little sling thing.
ooh,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wow. Yeah, they just this might have to be my go-to place for Christmas time.
Fun.
And now here I am just looking through all the stuff they have and I can't stop. But I'll tell you one thing that kind of worried me is the website, the way it's built, the way it
Mm.
looks a lot like some of these fly-by-night
I would
websites.
recommend doing a general
Yeah,
Google search on the store itself and see if
yeah,
what people have to say about it before you order from there.
most definitely. Oh, I just see that there's a little hooded sweatshirt with a little pocket for the kitty cat to go in. Oh my
Nice.
gosh.
There you go. Auntie Joan's new
Ah,
favorite store.
uh-huh, uh-huh. And a Bat Cat Halloween gift mask. So they
I
look like
saw
Batman.
that. I saw that. That was interesting.
Okay, okay, I'll stop. I'll stop.
No need. No need.
Yeah, one thing I was worried about when those guys were here yesterday working in the basement, I thought about poor Oscar, because usually that's his go-to place. When anybody comes to the door, he runs downstairs.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought, hopefully he found a place down there to hide. And because those guys were here all day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I went to feed them, I have a counter in my bedroom that I feed them on.
Mm-hmm.
And I heard him jump down from the closet, from a shelf in the closet in the
Your
bedroom.
closet?
Yeah. So hopefully that's
Oh,
where he was all day.
that's good.
Yeah.
Yes, as we've talked about before, big, beautiful Maine Coon cat that all I want to do is pet and snuggle with and love. And he just doesn't let anybody but Auntie Joan touch him.
He is strange that way. I don't get it.
Makes me sad. I try. He'll go up and see Auntie Joan on her chair, and then he'll jump down. I'm like, my turn. And I make all the kitty noises, and nothing.
No,
I get
no.
nothing. But he does come around at least a little bit more when I'm there. So that's at least
Mhm.
something. So before I never saw the cat. I didn't know what he looked
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. Yeah, he does like to come out and say, "Well, here I am."
Here, and he's
Bitch.
spectacular. Oh my God. All I want to do is pick him up and love up on him, and he nothing. It makes me so sad.
I'm sad too.
I think you trained him that way so you could have all the snuggles to yourself and all the purring to yourself.
No, he does. He
Isis lets me pet her. She's a cutie
she
patootie.
does. Well, she's a whore. Whore.
Oh
She'll just
no.
let anybody touch her, you know?
Yes.
Not that you're anybody,
Yeah.
but
Sure.
no, the first couple times Killian's came and stayed. Yeah, that Oscar boy, he tied out for at least all day. And
Even
yeah,
with just Beast there?
when he first came, the first
Oh.
time or two, Oscar was down in the basement all day. He wouldn't come out until
Oh.
he absolutely had to. And then now it's like no big deal.
Yeah. He did
He likes,
rub his head on Killian's back paws
yeah.
once, and Killian didn't like that, which was so stupid because I was all into it. I was like, "Whoa, what's happening here?" And this was in front of me. Auntie Joan was sleeping. I was out in the living room.
Me?
Mm-hmm. And I was just watching, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is really happening." And Oscar rolled on his back and rubbed his head against Killian's feet, and Killian went, "Arr!" And I'm like, "What are you
Oh,
doing?"
did he?
Yeah. Made me sad. I was like, "Don't do that." I think he was just used to my cats were so mean to him. They
Oh,
both
were
they
they?
both hated him with a passion. My cats did.
Oh,
I really do think now yours are a rare breed, but I do think it's better to have dogs first and then get the cats as
yeah,
kittens
yeah,
and have them
yeah.
grow up with the dogs, and then I think the affection would come.
Mm-hmm.
But my cats were grown by the time I got Zadie and Max, and they were like, "What did you bring into this house?" They were pissed.
No.
And they
And
beat up the
he
dogs.
wasn't a puppy either, so he was already full grown. So yeah.
Both all my dogs. I've never had puppies. No, true puppies. Zadia was the most puppy I had at 9. She was 9 months old when I got her. Yeah, so it was unfortunate, but I was surprised because Killian really is very docile around cats. That's why I was surprised. I don't think he likes anybody touching his feet. He was like asleep, like he didn't see it coming. Is what happened. I think it startled him more than anything. Yeah, he's not a big fan of people touching his feet.
Honestly, I think he was telling Oscar, "Look, you little bastard, if you think you can snub my mother and then come up and kiss my ass, you got another thing coming." I think that's what it was. He was sticking up for you. You betcha.
You really think Killian put that much thought into it?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Somebody asked yesterday on the trail down in Golden that we went on that if he was famous because he had his doggles on. A little old couple was coming towards us and they said, "Is he famous?" And I started cracking up. That's all I could do. I didn't even answer the question. I just kept going.
Well, tell him. Well, he's appeared on a podcast quite a few times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess he is kind of famous.
Sure.
And then they'd say, "Oh, what podcast?" And then you tell them because it sounds like they're the right demographic for us.
Yeah. So that was a cool site that you found. Like I said, definitely do your investigation before you buy anything from that. And it's always encouraging when they take something like PayPal, because I figure if they were really scammers, they wouldn't take the time and pay. I think they pay a fee of some kind to use PayPal. So. You know what I mean? So that's always, in my opinion, a good sign. And plus, you're not giving them your credit card in that case. Actually putting your information into their website. It's all going through PayPal. That's my 2 cents on the matter. But it is a cool site. It's got some really cute things. So I hope your investigation pans out and we can start ordering shit from it.
Yeah. So, check because we'll follow up on this.
Yes.
Because I know we got a bunch of cat lovers out there.
That's right. All right, Auntie Joan, anything else for our listener today?
I think I've covered everything.
Awesome sauce.
How about you?
Yes, I believe so. So that wraps it for yet another wonderful pickled watermelon rinds episode. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now.
We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.